Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. Though this isn't the normal time that we do Satan and Coffee. We normally just do Satan and Coffee in the mornings, but I really wanted to do an episode this evening based around a couple of posts that I put on the post section, the community section, whatever the fuck it's called. So there's a couple of things that I put on there that I felt like kind of deserved an episode for me to kind of dive into. Now, I'm not expecting a lot of people or the normal community to kind of be around at this time. It's a bit last minute. But here we are. Here we are. We are live. We are live. So what are we talking about with the posts that I put up? They were rather angry posts. So here's the deal. So there was a discussion, or rather an argument, that I had gotten into with someone on Dyra's comment section on Instagram. That somebody had made a comment asking what orders Dyra had graduated from, or what initiations she has done, or anything like that. And that comment in and of itself kind of irritated the shit out of me. So actually, let me pull up that comment. I don't know if I can see it anymore. I don't know if I can see it anymore because I had blocked the individual because they just pissed me off. Let's see here. Where is it at? There's got to be my comment around here somewhere. Oh, I can't find it. But essentially, I've never vouched for people going into orders or anything of the like. I've never vouched for it, nor will I ever vouch for it. It's because orders just are not what they used to be. They're just not. Or thinking you're adept because you went through some type of schooling process. And this isn't to say that there's anything wrong with going through a schooling process and learning about the occult, the history of the occult. But here's the difference. So you can go into, an educational platform and learn about the occult in order to learn and practice and become better. Because some people just learn things better in a very traditional, you're not a morning person. Yeah, well, I mean, Satan and coffee not being in the morning would be a little weird, though, because I don't drink coffee at night. I'm drinking orange juice right now, so it should be Satan and orange juice. Satan and OJ. The thing is you go into a schooling or you go into an educational program, you purchase something and you learn. Some people learn better that way, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with learning the history of the occult or the certain aspects of the occult to better your practice. The issue comes in is when you pay for these things, and for some reason by the end of it, like they sit there and they try to sell you this idea that by the end of that program, that course, whatever, you're going to be a magus, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. OJ and Satan got a little ring to it, right? And I think that's bullshit. I think that's bullshit because the thing is you only become adept by doing the work, right? And so it kind of set me off. And the reason it set me off is because, guys, I've spent the last 5+ years between, we started out on Twitch and we moved over here to YouTube because Twitch is just not the place to have a satanic podcast. Just isn't. See, OJ. So we moved it over to YouTube. So we've been doing these videos. And when I say we, I mean like myself, Mystic, Rook. But I've been doing these lives, this content for probably about 5+ years. I've been an occultist for 20+ years. And I have tried to, for the life of me, to build a community base that is open, that is non-judgmental, that doesn't come across as being fucking gatekeeping, right? You know, try to keep it, you know, balanced. And the thing that irritates me, right? So there's actually earlier this evening in the comment section in YouTube, somebody had posted some scripture, right? Like posting scripture fucking proves something. And this is the irritating thing, because the people that regurgitate occult limericks that they get from books that they've read irritate me just as much as these assholes that come in the comments, just start fucking blaring fucking scripture like it proves something. Like it does something, like it holds weight, like it has power. It has nothing. It is nothing. If the only thing you are capable of doing is regurgitating the last fucking thing you read, you're useless. You are useless. If that is the only thing you are capable of doing, you're doing nothing. Because at the end of the day, when you look at Crowley, LeVay, right? They were people of action. They were doing, right? Grimoires aren't instruction manuals. They're field notes, right? That's what they are. They can guide you to a certain point, but then you have to do the work. And it's only one person's interpretation of something that they've experienced. Most of these motherfuckers, they don't have their own experience. They're just regurgitating what other people say. Oh my, it bothers me so much. So much. So anyway, I'm going to read what I wrote in the post section. If you've read it already, I'm sorry, but I'm going to read it so that way we have, you know, we're all on an even playing field. So this is essentially what I've written. So there's 2 posts that I wrote. I'm going to read both of them because they're both connected to each other, right? There's the main one, and then there was one that was just kind of like fucking afterthought, right? So I am done playing nice with these book quoting motherfuckers. I've tried patience. I've tried civility. And I'm fucking over it. Magic isn't about how many books you've read or how many other people's words you can regurgitate. It's about what you do. It's blood, consequence, and will made real. Half of you wouldn't know that if it bit you in the ass because you're too busy jerking off to your own bookshelf. Reading the Llewellyn Top 40 doesn't make you a practitioner. It makes you a collector of other people's power. Paying $3,000 for an order to hand you a fucking title doesn't make you adept. It makes you a customer with a receipt. You want to impress me? Show me your work. Show me results. Show me something that didn't come from a PDF or a goddamn Discord server. I don't give a fuck how fluent you are in quoting Ford, Crowley, or whoever's fashionable this week. If nothing you speak is yours, you've done nothing. You are dead weight pretending to float. And before people start fucking freaking out what it is, before you start clutching your pearls, right? No, I'm not saying don't read. I'm saying stop confusing memorization for mastery. Knowledge is the weapon. Experience is the kill. If you can't bridge the two, just stay out of my way. I've torn down charlatans who thought their library card was initiation. I've ended careers with a single working. So don't step to me waving your fucking syllabus like it's a sword. I've walked through too much fire to care about your citations. You're quoting theory. I'm living consequence. This isn't a game. This is war, and most of you are unarmed. And then to go back, then I came back into it and I left another one. It says, I've been doing this for over 5 years. The videos, the posts, the teaching, the goddamn grind. And I'm fucking exhausted. I came into this thinking we were all walking the same road. We wanted Gnosis. We wanted to grow. We wanted to open the scars, open the doors of our minds, and tear down the walls between what we are and what we could become. Right? And so going through this, sorry, I lost my place, guys. I'm reading my own words here. So somewhere along the line, half of you decided your job was to correct everyone else. You tell people they're wrong without offering a single fucking insight. You've become the same noise as the Christ is King crowd you mock, parroting scripture, policing thought, killing creativity in the name of purity. Every day it's the same shit. This book says this, that author says that, these people agree. Actually, you're wrong because of X, Y, fucking Z. It's just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Do you even practice anymore, or do you just debate imaginary footnotes? Magic isn't a spelling bee. It's an active war against your own limitations. You think quoting Crowley makes you Crowley? Crowley did. Levy did. LeVay did. They wrote to lead others to their own gnosis, not to be worshipped by parrots decades later. Real masters didn't put their secrets in print. They put them in practice. They left trails, not textbooks. And yet, here you are reciting their names like gospel and calling it wisdom. You scholars are lazy. You want the title, not the scars that earn it. Yes, we all have power. Yes, we all have access to the same current. But obsession with being the smartest in the room makes you powerless in spirit. You've traded experience for ego, discovery for debate, and the path for the podium. And just for the record, I am more powerful than most of you. Not because I'm better, because I do the work. If that sentence makes you defensive, you miss the fucking point. I don't want worship. I don't want followers. I want magicians who do. So those are the two ranty pieces that I wrote and I put in my post section. And that's what this episode is about. That's what we're covering. That's what we're going into, right? Been in this path for 18 years, and I study on my, with no talking about Buddhism for years, and shared with other passion, and took some people under my wing. Well, I mean, the thing is there's one thing about studying. Like, I'm not saying studying is a bad thing. Studying the occult, studying the masters of the past, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with picking up a book, a grimoire written from those, that we now consider, the masters of then. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem happens when there's no practice, when there's no experience, when we sit there and we read the books, we learn about that individual's experiences, and then we don't go any further. Or to never take criticism personally, even if it's meant to be taken personally. If you're proven wrong gets you. Yeah, no, of course. But this isn't about somebody telling me that I'm wrong. It's just the fact that these people just keep regurgitating shit with nothing behind it. There's no action. There's no doing. It's like they read a book, and it's like it's the same thing as these Christians, right? The Christians come in and there's like, oh, here's some scripture, right? Like I swear somebody left one earlier today. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like I got so pissed off. I literally in the comment I got so pissed off. I was like, look, I said I am such at a point with you asshats that if you love your God so much, go suck his dick and leave me the fuck alone. Because like I'm done. I'm done with everybody just keeps like they read something and then they just spit it back out, right? Nobody thinks for them fucking selves anymore. Like nobody has their own goddamn ideas. It's like, oh, I read this and now I think this and now I feel this way. And like it's like what part of that is fucking you? When did we become such fucking cop-outs? Like when did original thinking become fucking dangerous and a crime? Oh, hold on a second. Now my security's calling me. Hold on a second. Bueno. Ya, déjelo pasar, por favor. Gracias. All right. So sorry about that interruption. Okay. Right? Like, and it's okay to have a difference of an opinion. Like, I'm not saying a different opinion is a bad thing. Right? And I know these motherfuckers are going to come out of the goddamn woodwork and be like, well, you can't handle what somebody else is. Oh, shut the fuck up. Like, serious. Sit down and shut the fuck up. First and foremost, I don't give a fuck about anybody's opinion. Am I willing to have a conversation with somebody? Yep, 100%. Because that's how you learn. You have a conversation. But to come in, right, and start spewing shit, well, what orders, like, have you been in? Have you been initiated in? What schools have you graduated from? What makes you an authority, an adept? That makes me a fucking authority because I've been doing this shit for fucking 20 years and I get constant, consistent fucking results. My life is what gives me fucking authority. My results in my life, the life that I live, the life that I lead, gives me fucking authority. Because my magic fucking works. Because I do. Because I put the sacrifice of time and energy and sweat and blood and fucking tears into the shit that I do. I'm not going to run my fingers too much this time. And so, like, just having these motherfuckers come in, it's just like, well, what orders did you get? Have you been initiated? None. Fucking none, because it's a scam. You drop fucking $3,000 into a fucking order. So after about 6 months, somebody can say, yeah, you're a guru now. Fuck you. Fuck you. You ain't shit. You're fucking nothing. You were fucking nothing. It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I don't want to be going off on a fucking angry rant. I have organized this shit for tonight, okay? Even though the angry rant's already happened, right? Anyway. So, in the Renaissance, if we look at the Renaissance, grimoires weren't instruction manuals. They were field notes, right? They were written by practitioners. An example of that, if you look at the Key of Solomon, right? Or Picatrix, right? These are, they're not instruction manuals on how you're supposed to do everything. It's not like, well, you do this, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then you do this, and then after that you do this. They're rough field notes on we did this, and this fucking happened, and this is what we found, right? It's like if you were to go hunting, right? And you were to keep a journal of the things that you found on the way, you're not going to tell people how to find it. You're going to say, well, I found this, and this is what it looks like. This is how it acted, da, 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 right? 19th and 20th centuries turned magic into literature, right? Golden Dawn, codified ritual, theosophy, intellectualized mysticism, right? So give me a quick second, guys. Amazon at the door. 1 second. Fuck. All right, sorry about that. I am back. Okay, so when we kind of started like putting things out there, right? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with putting your information out there. But one of the things I've noticed in literature as time has progressed is literature has become less and less of that field note style and mirrors that this is a fact. There's no getting around this type of thing, right? Crowley's Book of Law from 1904, right, explicitly forbids arguing about the book, right? He intended action, not commentary. Sorry, I bought diapers for my newborn, and the box didn't look like it had but diapers in it, but there's diapers in it, so I'm good. We got nervous there for a second. It was almost $100 for the diapers. So even Crowley knew that people were going to bitch and complain and argue about like the ideas that were being presented in the book. So even Crowley like preemptively put in there, it's like, you're not going to fucking fight about this. You're going to do, right? I believe that in many ways, most occult literature, whether they know they're doing it or not, tends to be codified ways of describing esoteric truths, meditations, ceremony, magic, Western yoga. I mean, to a certain degree, yeah, definitely. Eliphas Levi, to know, to dare, to will, to keep silent. Most forget the last part. Silence implies doing quietly, not discussing endlessly. And then let's go to the atheistic side of shit. Anton LaVey in the Satanic Bible, right? It wasn't revelation. It was recruitment through provocation. He performed. He did. All of these people were doing. Everyone we talk about, everyone we go into a comment section spewing and quoting and everything like that, they did. They were people of action, not words. They did. They wrote a fucking book about it. Boom, done. Right? And what I see most people doing now, the part that's pissing me off is they read these books. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with fucking reading. But these people read these books. Then they see somebody talk about their experience online, right? And then they start spewing shit at you. Well, what this person said this, and this person said that, and this person said this, and this. Like, shit. Oh, stop. Just fucking stop. I don't give a fuck what somebody said. I don't care what's in a book. What somebody that you believe in said. My results speak for themselves. My results speak for themselves. You can tell me I'm wrong all the fuck you want, My results speak for themselves. Right? We inherited libraries from men who moved mountains and turned them into prisons where we quote the wardens. That's what we're doing. That's all we're doing. Like we're so stuck on this shit, and it's so fucking irritating. And the thing is that this all started because somebody misinterpreted something that I was talking about when I was talking about performance magic. When I was talking about people being performative, right? And being performative doesn't mean that you can't record what you do. You can't put what you do out there. I mean, I personally don't, but it doesn't mean that you can't. It doesn't make you any less powerful, right? In what it is that you do. It's the people that only do that only do a ritual when a camera's on. They don't do it for themselves, right? Those are the performative witch talkers that I'm talking about that also irritate the shit out of me, right? Because you got one extreme and then you got the other extreme, right? So you got the one extreme, which is people that don't actually do anything. They hit record and they make content so they can make money, right? And then you got the other side that reads the books and doesn't do shit, right? But then sits there and bitches about the people that anyone that records what they do, right? And then the fact that some of these people get pissed off that you charge for rituals, you charge for readings. Like, I'm sorry. If you live in the mountains and milk a goat, cool. The rest of us have fucking bills to pay, right? And even like as far back as I have done research on the occult, right? It has been a service that has been charged. As far back as I can go, very few cultures that openly practiced magic did shit for fucking free. So this whole new age fucking suck my dick concept of, well, if you have a gift, you should be giving your gift is free and you should be giving it free. No, my gift is not fucking free. All right, I had to put work in to be able to do the shit that I do. I had to practice. I had to fail. I had to try again. I had to go back, revisit, change how I did things. This shit wasn't free. It was work. And therefore, I charge for work. End of story. I find the most deceitful is Wicca. Not to say it doesn't give results, but the wisdom is lacking, in my opinion. Well, I mean, Wicca is like a starting point. Wicca is like a jump pad, right? Like, I don't have any problem. I don't have problems with Wiccans. I mean, he's like, I didn't. I mean, I don't really know any Wiccans today, to be completely honest. If you want the real secrets, you need to subscribe to them, right? Real secrets, you need to subscribe to their OnlyFans. Fucking hell. So tonight is Satan and OJ, because I don't drink coffee at night because I need to sleep. So in the 2010s, like, so, social media introduced like aesthetic witchcraft, right? So what is aesthetic witchcraft? So it kind of started with the idea of like, so people saw how people's altars looked in like their certain movies or things like that. TV shows, whatever, that might have an altar in it, that it looks a certain way, that it looks kind of cool, looks kind of creepy, whatever, right? And so what happened is people started mimicking this, and people started posting it, right, online, posting it on Instagram, posting it on Facebook, showing their altars, their setups, whatever. It's kind of like computers. Like, it's almost the same thing as computers, right? I don't know of anyone that legitimately uses their computer and has a desk space as clean as some of the fucking setup pics that are on online. I mean, they're nice, don't get me wrong, but they're not lived in, right? They're not lived in spaces. They are staged. Like a functional workspace doesn't look that way when you're actually working in it. Just a fact of life. It's the same thing with an altar, right? Yeah, you can get amazing setup pics. Fine, cool. Magic is lived. Exactly. I find that black coffee is one of Billy's favorite offerings. You know, a lot of people keep saying that. A lot of people keep saying that. I've not had that experience. I'm just going to say that. I've not had that experience. Right? Belial has not asked me for an espresso. You know, right? He has not asked me on a date to Starbucks. So, you know, but you're not the only person I've seen say that. But so that's kind of what happened, right? So visual validation replaced results. What started happening was because people liked how the setup was, and it's marketing. It's marketing. Unfortunately, that's 100% what it is. It is fucking marketing. Like you look at these computer. I don't use my altar for much anymore. It's pretty much just room decor now. Oh, that's sad. I mean, I have a whole room. Like I have a ritual room. So, I mean, it's sad for me. Like, I mean, it might be great for you, but, if you look at going back to the computer thing, right? You look at these computer setups and like all the shit that they have on it, right? Like all the stuff that they put on the desk to make it look nice, to make it all tie in, the aesthetics and all that shit, right? How much of that stuff do people actually use? Like if you're not doing what I do right now, like why would you want to have, a DSLR camera? Why would you want to have a key light, right? Why would you want to have colored lighting? Right? Why would you want to have $150, $200 microphone? Why would you want an amp? Like, why would you want any of this stuff on your desk if you're not going to use it? Right? Because there's so many people that have all of this shit and they don't use it. They literally just take pictures of their computer, play some video games. They don't even use a keyboard. We're getting into a completely different topic, but I'm going to be completely honest here. If you play video games on a fucking computer, use a keyboard and mouse. Like that I do not know why that irks me so fucking much, but when I see people, right, that go in, load up a video game, and then pull out an Xbox controller, like I want to beat them in the head with the fucking thing. See, the thing is like I just, for me, like when it comes to ritual, when it comes to the work, when it comes to that side of the work, it's not about asking for anything. Like for me, like I just want to commune. I want to learn. I want to be spoken to. I want to hear. I want to listen. I want to transcend myself in that moment. And for me, yeah, my rituals are elaborate because I have ADHD like a motherfucker. Right? So I find it's like if I got the music, I got the incense, I got the candles, I got the whole nine, I got the visuals, like every one of my senses are occupied. And it allows me to fully immerse myself in that moment. And it's one of the few times that my mind rests. Right? As someone with ADHD, my mind is constantly going a mile a minute. And it helps me calm that and be in the moment with myself and just what I have around me and allow myself to just kind of exist in that space. And then I find myself like I relax and I open up and beautiful things come through. Beautiful things come through. Inspirations. I've been doing a lot of work. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of work with personal work with payment, because I am a creative, and I find that helps quite a bit with any blockages I might have. And it's not even like the intent to remove the blockage; it just does. To further this, right? Algorithms reward certainty and outrage, not exploration, right? Unfortunately, in when we talk about the online algorithms, we're rewarded for talking in absolutes. Think of anybody that does any type of online content regarding the occult or almost anything. It's not even just the occult, just anything. When you talk in absolutes, you can become full of shit. But speaking in absolutes, that this is the way, this is that, that's because it starts to resonate with people. If you do things the way that I do it, look, I'm fully confident that the reason I haven't completely fucking blown up yet is because I have done my damnedest to try to leave enough space for anyone and everything to exist here. Right? Have there been specific points that I get irritated with and I attack and I go on it? Like I go on a rant about it? Yep, sure. It's my show. I'm going to fucking do what I want. But generally speaking, I have done my best to keep my mouth shut about most of my experiences and allow everyone else to exist in the space, regardless of whether I agree or disagree. And because of that, I put myself into a position that most algorithms and viewers, external viewers that aren't a part of the community, are going to look at it and say, well, is this guy certain of anything? I mean, just think about the Christians. I think half of the time the Christians are in the fucking comment section because they think that I'm confused. Wyatt, man, you do you. You do you, right? I mean, keep it flowing, right? It's all good, right? I was like asking for something, not gonna lie, just kidding. I know what you mean. It's now do less teaching and more reminding for me. You need to do the time warp and strengthen bonds and spirits. Thanks, man. Now, Maeve, I'm gonna have that fucking song stuck in my goddamn head. And if you don't know what song I'm talking about, that means you have not watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Fucking shit, man. Ancient Gateways, like, hey, you do you. You want to be a lurker, be a lurker. Like if people are going to comment, people aren't going to comment. It's okay. It's just listen to me rant and bitch. But going further, okay, results, right? What happens with all of this? Practitioners mimic authority for engagement, creating echo chambers. That's what happens, right? That is what happens. Okay. And just fucking, God damn it. You guys are going to get stuck in my head. Oh. And I don't know if that was intentional, Maeve. I really don't, but so that's what happens when you look at what happens with kind of like the aesthetic witchcraft kind of thing, and then how the algorithms like reward certainty, reward this anger and shit like that, and not a conversation. What you get is people that mimic authority without being authoritative, like actually not having an authority, not knowing shit about what they're doing, right? And you get echo chambers. Melinda Lyons, fucking, it's all of that shit just repeated, right? The Dunning-Kruger effect, right? What is that, right? So those least experienced seek most confidently. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but usually people that are the least experienced in something like speak the most confidently about what they know, right? And here's the thing. So one of the things that I like, another thing that kind of irritates me is like when I was talking to this person in the comment section, in Dyer's comment section, before both of us blocked them, because I mean the conversation just completely disintegrated into bullshit. But they didn't come back defending their gnosis or defending, you know, their idea that, you know, you need to, you know, be initiated into an order or you need to graduate from, you know, a mysticism school or something like that. They came back saying that like my comments looked like that they were written by ChatGPT. That's what they came back with. And I'm like, really? Like that's the new you don't know how to spell thing. Like, you know, like, so me having ADHD, right? Punctuation, spelling, grammar, out the fucking window. I write exactly how I speak. And I have said multiple times, and I'll say again, ChatGPT or any type of AI is a tool, right? When used correctly. Do I use that tool? Yes, I do. I use that tool to correct grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Those are the three things that I use that tool for. Yes, I'm going to repeat this. I use ChatGPT. It is a tool, and like any grown fucking adult, I take advantage of that tool. Because I understand that because of my ADHD, I have an issue with punctuation, I have an issue with grammar, and I have an issue with spelling. And I'm pretty sure there's a little dyslexia in there because I'm constantly flipping shit around that shouldn't be flipped around. And so it allows me to get my thoughts out there and keep them articulate, keep them easy to read so people don't lose their place. And so I can get my point across clearly, right? But it's still me. It's 100%. I will write out my entire comment, hit enter, and it fixes it. It fixes the mistakes. And that's it. That's all I do. So yes, I use ChatGPT, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's a fucking tool. It's a tool. Right? It exists. AI. And so for somebody to turn around and be like, well, that if you use ChatGPT, that means everything you say is invalid because it's not. Shut the fuck up, man. Just shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, half of the time I fully believe that these people act the way that they act because they never got smacked across the face for talking shit. Like, I come from a generation that when you talk shit, right? That I come from the very last fuck around and find out generation. Like, I do. Right? I am from the final fuck around and find out generation. So that's one problem I think a lot of people have. Anyway, Carl Jung, right? So if we go Modern Man in Search of a Soul, right, is the book. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Work, doing the work, right? What the fuck? I'm just, you guys go at it. You guys go ahead. My generation was the same. You run your mouth, you get slapped. Yeah, exactly. 100%, right? And I honestly believe that, like, you know, because people don't have that, you know, education anymore, you know, that streetwise education, you know. Oh, it's so nice. Check this out, guys. So I ordered some clothing for my little man. And this is one of the things that I picked up on Amazon. So right there. Gotta get the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, man. Gotta get the Tim Burton stuff in the house, right? Gotta do it. So, and the thing is I mean, you learn, right? You learn. Like the thing is what do you learn in those situations? You learn that if you don't know what you're talking about, then you shut the fuck up. You keep your mouth fucking shut. You don't talk shit. And the thing is the internet's making it fucking so easy for people to talk shit. You know, like, just fucking crazy, right? So, the occult hypocrisy aspect of this, right? The imagine light, the imaginatory light here, right? That's never that never meets a confronted shadow, right? They imagine this light. They imagine, oh, Gen Z, yeah. I mean, I used to think so. I used to think that I was Gen X, right? But apparently not. I was born a little too late. I was born in '86, which makes me an elder millennial. Right? I'm an older millennial. I'm like right on the ass end. And so I used to be irritated by the whole millennial concept. But you know, Gen X, rock on. But I think I was born so close to Gen X, like to younger Gen X, that a lot of that rubbed off on me before the millennial generation turned into man buns. So no offense if you guys rock a man bun, you know, but yeah, right. COVID, normal kids played Fortnite. I spent the whole winter hallucinating in my room and having brain battles with Spinoza's ghost. Dude, there's just fucking hell, Wyatt. Oh, brother. So, the pros and cons. I wanted to give a pros and cons here of like the whole the scholarly aspect, right? So here's some of the pros. Okay, access to recorded tradition prevents cultural amnesia, right? So if we go through and we understand tradition, we're not going to forget the things that have been done and the things that worked, right? Textual study can reveal patterns, systems, and correspondence, right? Agrippa's three books of occult philosophy, for example. Okay, reading can protect beginners from harmful experimentation. There's nothing wrong with reading. Reading is, you know, amazing, right? The cons: over-identification with text replaces experiential learning, right? So experiencing and learning through experience is what it replaces. You become overconfident because of what you've read instead of doing. Canon worship creates elitism and stagnation. Intellectual gatekeeping mirrors religious orthodoxy, the very thing the left-hand path rebelled against to begin with, is what people begin to interject into the left-hand path when they do this, when they say that you are not a magician if you're not initiated into an order, or if you're not, you know, graduated from a mysticism school. Furthermore, at the end of the day, the golden fucking dawn, right, has made self-initiation a thing. Tell me I'm wrong. Please, somebody tell me that I'm wrong. I mean, if don't just say it just to say it because I'm saying to say it, but right? Golden Dawn made self-initiation a thing. You just buy the book. Buy the book, go through the process, initiate yourself. They made orders irrelevant. And an order doesn't mean what it used to. Like, an order used to be like this idea of hidden traditions that nobody else knew, that was passed word and mouth, hand in hand to its members to learn, to expand, to grow, to become better. Right? So, you know, that's not what an order is anymore. It's a cash grab. I mean, that's what it is. Like that type of bullshit is just ridiculous. If you want historical evidence of this, let's go through history, right? Crowley's students often failed because they worshipped his words instead of internalizing his methods, right? And if you want reference to that, that's Israel Regardie's memoirs. The Golden Dawn collapsed under hierarchy and infighting. Chaos Magic. Carroll and Sherwin, 1970s and 80s, rebelled by embracing experimentation. Proof that rebellion revives practice. There's so much drama with the Golden Dawn. This is fucking do it yourselves. Right? Text preserves wisdom. Practice proves it. I've read so much on the occult in my younger years. Late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. Okay? I've read so much. It's fucking ridiculous. Unfortunately, I don't have the type of memory where I can read something and then I can regurgitate it. I have the way my memory works with this shit is I read something and certain aspects of it get assimilated. Other parts get pushed out. But the theory is still there. And then I go in and I practice. Okay? And through my practice, through what I do in my practice, it works. It works. Clients that I do work for have results. Okay? So I've been able to repeat results again and again and again. Have a pain you don't, though. You have no idea what it's like knowing that good things stopped being made somewhere around the start of the 90s. Oh. 1996. Okay. I'm 86. So, you know, I love my birthday. All right. So I don't know if I want to give you guys my birthday because, yeah, you know, it's a little personal. I don't know if I'm going to give you my birthday. I don't know. So let's go a little bit further, right? So online witchcraft echoes chambers, right? It has echo chambers and purity policing, right? So this is another thing, right? It's fucking irritating about online witchcraft is this absolute obsession of trying to keep things fully traditional of how things have been done, you know, by previous people and, you know, authors and whatever that, nope, you need to do it this way. And it's like, dude, especially left-hand path guys, come on. I don't know if my wife is still in the chat, but if she is, what was that stupid fucking thing that you have to kill a fucking chicken that hasn't fucked in like 7 days or some shit, right? And then you have to like, you know, like, well, what the fuck was it? Then you have to like put his balls in a fucking vice or some shit. I don't know what the fuck it is, but there's some shit in the Goetia, right? The black cock has never trod head. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. You know, there's some shit in the Goetia, like to create a vessel to hold a demon, right? That is so ridiculously complicated, right? Like, nobody fucking does that. Nobody does that shit. I'm hard pressed to think of a single fucking no, I'm not hard pressed. I can't think of a single fucking person that I know that does goetic magic that has ever actually fucking done that.
preparation to make Solomon's secret seal to hold the demon in a brass vessel. Yes. Yeah. So is a wrong way to be a purist about things, but purity and following tradition and ritual be a source of the rituals. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I'm not. You must have also fasted, prayed, and been celibate for a month. Yeah, fuck that. So I'm definitely I definitely believe that the things that our ancestors did have power to it. There's a reason that it works. And I'm kind of in the middle ground here, right? So when we go further back in the time, there's a very few things that we can crop up and that we know for sure that our ancestors did. Well, when we talk, whether we're talking, the Celts, the Druids, whatever, the very little bit that we're 100% certain on. And unfortunately, we're not certain on it because of the fucking Catholics, the Christians, right? The Crusades. And so when we look at those pasts, they knew something we didn't. They knew something we don't. They had access to something that we keep trying to gain access to. But we're confusing shit. We keep mixing things together like a fucking suicide at McDonald's. For the algorithm's sake, when I say suicide, I'm talking about when you take a cup, a large soda cup from McDonald's, and you put a little bit of each soda into that thing until it fills up. I'm not changing the name of it. I grew up with that. Fucking deal with it. But that's what we're doing, right? We go in and we take a little bit here, we take a little bit here, we take a little bit there, and we pull it in and we smush it together and say, here. And the unalive drink, fucking hell. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not restricting my speech for anybody. I'm sorry. Right? I'm not doing that. That is the stupidest fucking thing, right? If you are offended by words, go take a fucking nap. Just go take a nap. The boomer mage, the old days, magic was simple. Jerk off a cow, get $1 million. Well, I mean, I don't know if we want to go that simple with it, but it's just the both extremes fucking irritate me. Like, I do think that we need experimentation. We do need to try new things because we have access to things that we never had access to before, right? We have access to like all of this history and all of these pantheons and all these ideas. So we have a distinct advantage that didn't exist prior, where we're able to touch and work with things that our ancestors probably didn't even know existed, right? But if you look at polytheism, most Eastern polytheism, and you look at, Norse paganism, you look at, what would be considered kind of Ireland, Wales, England, paganism that existed there before, the inevitable takeover of Christianity and Catholicism. Greece, there's similarities, right? There's similarities, there's parallels that go all through it. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, we're looking at probably all the same entities, just with different names because of the cultures, because of the parallels that are being drawn are so similar. Culturally speaking, each one kind of presents itself a little bit differently because of the culture that it was in. If you look at Greece, and you look at Zeus, and then you look at, the Norsemen, and you look at Odin or Thor, You know, you're talking similar channels, right? But there's different personalities to these things, right? And I think we get hung up on the personalities more than we should. I think we try to relate or have these things relate to us, and they're never meant to. And that I think that's like the most important thing. Like, there was an understanding that, you know, in Greek culture and Norse mythology and all of this, that the gods weren't perfect. The gods weren't without their flaws and faults. But inevitably, they were more powerful. And we were able to, in some degree, in some way, to tap into that. Because we are inherently spiritual beings. And the parallels are stark. Like, you can see them. Like, it's super easy, right? Just look at any polytheistic pantheon, and it's riddled with similarities. So I think the biggest problem we keep running into is we keep trying to create an understanding where it's like these things love us or want us. Most of the gods, if you look at least Greek and Norse mythology, the gods fucking hated us. Like, they did. Like, the gods didn't like us. They fucked with us. They toyed with us. We were a game. They got bored. They fucked with us. Right? Like, and that's kind of how it's always been through most pantheons, right? Most pantheons, like, function that way, at least within that era, right? The gods didn't like us. They would work with us sometimes. We would have to fucking beg, but they would work with us sometimes. Most of the time, there really wasn't many gods that you probably could look at and say, yeah, that's a buddy of mine. No, it doesn't work that way. Like, that, I mean, I'm sorry, that's why that whole fucking, you know, Lucifer's my daddy thing fucking pisses me off. Right? Because I've never had that kind of interaction with the infernal. I mean, I've never felt like I was hated or rejected, but I don't feel like I'm loved or overly appreciated for just existing and doing something that a million other people are doing. Like, this shit is fucking delusional. It just really is. And, like, I know, again, that's going to piss people off, but, you know, that's just my take on it. Right? If we look at Michel Foucault, Discipline and Punish, right? The idea of surveillance as social control, right? When we look at that and we apply that to the occult, I mean, that's what's happening, right? I feel like we're breaking. What's funny is people will work with demons in their Greek or Roman forms because they're in denial about their demonic nature. But I don't know why they think the Greek mask is in any way nicer. It's not. It's not. It's fucking not. You know, and the thing is, it's like I said, I'll just repeat it. Like, if you know the history, like, the gods fucking, they didn't fucking like us, man. They didn't. So the loudest critics of dogma have built a dogma of their own. Then this is the thing that's irritating me. We've come over here to get away from fucking dogma, and we create it again. And we regurgitate the same shit. Whether you're like the people that are out there fucking quoting Crowley, quoting Levy, quoting whoever, you know, they to me, they sound so similar to people that are just shooting up fucking scripture in my shit. You know? Like, it's just like, bro, what the fuck's the point? Now, don't get me wrong. I think tradition is important. I do. I think that working with the ways of the past is extremely important. But orders are not the past. Mysticism schools are not the past. They're rather modern. They're rather modern concepts that have been brought into the occult. Right? I mean, for fuck's sake, somebody show me a fucking order that's 2,000 years old. I fucking dare you to find it, because you won't. I've looked. There are orders that claim that type of antiquity, but have no proof of it. Particular being. And I think that particular being began in Atlantic myth. Ancient Atlanteans tripped. They yield to them. Fungus arrived from the asteroid of Orion's belt. Then it's been associated with wisdom and liberation. Cool. But I do think that there is validity in tradition in the way that our ancestors used to do things. And the way that our ancestors used to do things is we just did things. We did the work. We did the work and it worked. Like, we are so far off from the level of power that our ancestors had that it's disgusting and it's depressing. Like, they understood something, regardless of pantheon. They understood something. Oh yeah, probably. But they understood something and how to make these make these rituals and things work, and they didn't do things the way that we do them now. That's for damn sure. Right? I mean, these motherfuckers were doing shit on their kitchen table. Right? Like, most of the time they didn't need an altar. If you need an altar, there's a public one, right? It's almost like a church. But we need to start taking cues from our ancestors and stop quoting people that write books and obsessing with people that write books. There's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong with reading a fucking, I can't believe I have to keep repeating this, because inevitably there's somebody going to be in the fucking comment section, oh, you're telling people not to read. And like, no, I'm not fucking telling people not to read, you dumbass. Like, I'm just telling people not to take it so fucking seriously, not to take it so literally. A true grimoire is, like I said, a true grimoire is just a book of field notes. That's what it is. It's not a fucking instruction manual, right? It's not how to put your stereo together. It's not how to fucking get your TV working, right? That's not what an actual grimoire is. And I'm sorry, like, one of the reasons I kind of stopped reading occult literature is because I began to notice the direction that these authors were going, and I didn't like the way that they were going with it. You know, one of the things that I'm having a problem with, like, for example, like actually publishing, you know, my book on Baphomet, right? The Book of Baphomet, right? Conversations with the Horned Ones. It's only about 60, 70 pages long. Like, I don't think that, like, I can't stand opening up a book and somebody needs to, for some reason, the author feels the necessity to give me 4 pages of shit that doesn't fucking mean anything. The short bus to enlightenment, right? Exactly. It's like, I don't need 4 pages of your bullshit of you stroking your fucking ego. Like, and for some reason, most people, most authors, occult authors, have this fucking lovely thing that they like to open up all their books. If you're reading this book, you've been called. Shut the fuck up. No, I like the cover. Nothing called me. Doesn't have my phone number. Your cover was cool. Now stop over-explaining your shit and get to the fucking point. Book of Baphomet gets to the point. It gets directly into the fucking reason you bought the book. It starts out with the history, my investigation of that history, summarized, nothing overly complicated, allows you to fucking have enough information, know where to look, see if you can find the same connections I made. The work that I did, the result of that work, how I did that work, conversations, the actual fucking meat. That's it. That's it. 70 pages. That's all I needed. Any publisher that's actually answering me saying, well, we need to be a bit longer. Why? Why do you need to be a bit longer? Why does it need to be longer? Why do I need to add a bunch of shit into my book that is just irritating bullshit about me that nobody wants to know? If you buy the Book of Baphomet, you're not buying it because you want to know about me. It's not a fucking autobiography. And unfortunately, most authors today, when they write an occult book, right, they treat half of it like it's an autobiography. And then the other half trying to fucking make you relate to them. And then for some reason, most people, it's so amazing. It's such a good book. It's like, if I wanted a story, I'd pick up Tom Clancy, Stephen King, Dean Koontz. I mean, that's just my take on it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, right? But yeah, I don't need anything else. So, returning to practice. Let's talk about framework here. Experimentation, create, fail, adjust. Documentation, results, log, reading, log, right? Field notes. Consequence, measure impact in reality. Austin Osman. The artist is the magician. The magician is the artist. Creation over citation. Right? Week of doing. Challenge yourself to perform one operation without posting anything about it until you actually get results. You can show the results. And I'm going to repeat this. Knowledge is the weapon. Experience is the kill. I've done hours and hours and hours of virtual work, meditation, communing, for nothing else than just the pure point of communing. Not asking for anything, not looking for anything. Just a back and forth. And it's one of the reasons why I thought, like, you know, Baphomet was such an amazing entity to work with, even though most people think Baphomet's just a name. Baphomet, in modern sense, yes, nobody's wrong in saying that Baphomet's a symbol, a representation. Baphomet's just a name. It's a phone number. But the deity attached to the name is very real. and goes very far back, very, very far back. What I've appreciated about working with and giving reverence to Baphomet is that Baphomet is not the type of entity that you want to work with if you want to get something, if you want change in the material world. It's not that kind of deity. Trust me, I tried. I've been told to fuck off, essentially. Baphomet's on a whole other level. And something I think a lot of people should start with. It'll teach you patience, discipline. Discipline in the craft. Oh, that's a beautiful word right there. Discipline. I love that. It's something that is greatly missing in the occult these days is discipline, consistency of action is desperately missing in the occult these days. Yeah, it's just turned into fashion at this point, and it's so disappointing. Because this is something, I've said this a million times, guys, but oh, my demons, I fully believe, I fully know the truth to my path. And I'm very passionate about what it is that I do, how I do it, and why I do it. And I am so tired and fed up with these assholes that get a piece of paper or read a book, do none of the work, and want to call themselves fucking adept. And this isn't boastering, but I know for a fact, I don't think I know, that probably about between 85 to 90% of these jackholes that crop up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that, Tether. I know that I, in practice, am light years ahead of 85 to 90% of these jackholes that fucking could jump into comment sections and start trying to trip you up on knowledge because they think that knowing what somebody said or knowing a concept equates power, equates ability, equates being adept. It does not. Knowledge is not a bad thing. If you have the ability to read a book and then be able to regurgitate that shit like on command, congratulations. But if you do that, if you are able to read a book, memorize the book, and regurgitate the shit from the book, but you've not practiced anything, you've not put the work in, you don't have the scars to show for the failure, and the dedication and discipline to keep showing up until shit works, you're not adept. You're not powerful. I've been doing this shit for 20 plus years, guys, and there's a reason I've been doing it for 20 plus years. And I know people like slapping time frames. I know the shit that they do all the time, which is why I try not to. I really do. I've mentioned it a few times, so I try not to because it sounds desperate. Like, in my opinion, when people sit there and tell you like how long they've been doing something, it sounds desperate because just because you've been doing something for a certain amount of time doesn't necessarily mean that you know it better than other people. Like, for example, the Goetia, right? My wife has been doing her work in the Goetia for about half the time that I've been working in the occult in general. But I will never pretend to know anything about the Goetia at any level compared to what she knows. Because she simply knows more than I do. It's been her focus, her lifeblood has been that. And it's something to revere and respect. But overall, I've been a practicing occultist for over 20 years. And you want to talk about initiation? I am initiated. I'm initiated in my fucking path. And I'm the only one that's initiated in my path. Just like you're the only one that's initiated in yours. For my experience, I know I'm powerful as fuck. The shit that I'm able to do, because I know what I'm doing. Words, truth on the page, but you haven't proved to yourself that the truth is real without the wisdom of the knowledge. Wyatt, I really like you. Like, I really do. And I hope you understand sarcasm. I'm being sarcastic when I say this, but like, you're the type of person that, like, when we're in the middle of a conversation, you're going to come out and say some weird shit. Like, I'm just smacking the back of the head. And I'm old enough to be like, you know, we're not going down that road. I'm not going to talk about how old I am. But and I've done my reading. I've done my reading. I've done my research. I know the books that everybody talks about. I've read them, most of them. And are there aspects that I've assimilated? Yeah, definitely. Can I regurgitate line for line what I've read? No. What's the point? That's not what it was designed for. At least, you know, an actual, like I said, an actual grimoire. What is considered an actual grimoire? It's field notes. It's not meant to be regurgitated. Like, I mean, honestly, like, the best example of that, if you do look at the Goetia is a book of fucking field notes. I mean, look at how it's written. Like, at least, like, when you look at, like, the Lesser Key of Solomon, right? Like, just the Ars Goetia. Just that part. It's not a very long or overly complicated book. You as in you, I was... Why I get used to it. You know how many times I have to say that? Like, I've learned to say that at the end of any sentence that I use you in, so the person that I'm talking to knows that I'm not talking about them. It just kind of is what it is, man. But yeah. I mean, so read, absorb, grow, but practice. Do. Action, substance, results. Right? Do is the biggest thing. Do is the biggest thing. Stop quoting ghosts. You personally are a fool. The books are maps. Burn them once you've arrived. Power isn't proven by how much you know. It's proven by what obeys when you speak. And I've said this a million times, and I'll say this again. Like, I don't want people to follow me. I don't want people to worship me. I don't want, I don't look for any of that. What I do want is I want people in my community, in the occult community. I want magicians that do the work. That's what I want. And this entire episode, don't quote the ghost unless they tell it to you personally. Exactly. Right? Don't assume, like, you know what the ghosts want to say. This entire rant piece, right, I guess comes down to one simple idea. that I want to see more action in my community. And when I say my community, I mean occultists at large. And to say that if you're going to come at me with your experience, come at me with your results. Don't come at me because you were initiated into a bullshit order or because you graduated from a mysticism school. Like, and just a heads up, because I know somebody's going to say this, that Dyer and I are starting like a school called Witch Skills. Witch Skills isn't designed to make people adept. It's designed to teach people the history of the occult and each section of the occult so they can focus on whichever one they want to focus on or all of them at large. Yes, you get a certificate for finishing the course, but that certificate doesn't mean that you're powerful. And I think that that's something that needs to be said. That certificate is a piece of paper saying that you've completed a standardized occult course and you have the basic information to go forth, perform your own magic, and kind of understand kind of like the history of certain things. That's it. Being adept happens with experience, when wisdom is gained through the knowledge that you've learned. So, yeah. Don't come at me in my comment section quoting scripture, quoting books, quoting dead men or women. Come at me with your experience. That's it. So, on that note, I think that's going to cover today's episode of Satan and Coffee. I'll be back full swing on Sunday. For those unaware, my son was born on Monday. Right, my second son was born on Monday at 5:15 in the morning. He's been in the hospital the last week, just kind of like, finishing kind of like lung development and all that wonderful stuff. And from our understanding, as of right now, he is coming home tomorrow morning. So, baby boy will be home tomorrow. Thank you. Ancient, thank you. So, with that being said, I love your fucking faces. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you for being here. And as always, hail thy fucking self. I'll see you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.